So inshallah we're going to start. We are doing the Surah Al-Zilzal, and last time we did the first 5 ayats of the surah, and in the first 5 ayats there was description about the start of the or end of this world. So going into the next ayat, number 6, is actually the start of the description of the day of judgment, when people will be raised again and they will be brought in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this ayat starts from that point onward. So we'll just do a simple translation first and then we'll go into the details. So the ayat says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Yawma idhin, that day. And this day is the day of judgment, when people will be brought out for accountability. Yasdurun nas, Allah says that people will proceed, they will travel, they will walk. Ashtatan, and they will be split into groups. They will be divided all over the place at that time, on that day. Liyuraw a'malahum, so they may be shown their deeds. Whatever deeds they have done in this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that they will be shown to them. And then the next ayat says, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ, so whosoever does, مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ, an atom's weight, khairan, of a good action or good deed, yara or yarahu, he will see it. On the day of judgment, he will come to see that. And on the other hand, وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ, and whosoever does, مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ, an atom's weight, sharran, of an evil action or evil deed, yarahu, he will see it. He will come to see that deed that he did in this worldly life. So these are the simple meanings of these 3 ayats. So going back, the ayat starts with the word yawma idhin, and this word also came last time. The actual word is yawmun. Yawmun means a day. Okay. And when you add few more letters as a yawma idhin, idhin, this means that day. Okay. And that day is a particular day. Okay. And that here is pointing to the day of judgment. So Yawma idhin means that day of judgment. Okay. So the meaning is that day. Now the next word is yasuduru. Okay, so let's look at that word. So the word starts with these root letters: swad, dal, and ra. This has multiple meanings, but the meaning that will be used here is to proceed, to go, or to travel. So the meaning is to proceed. Okay. Now what does this actually mean here? The people, when they will be raised from their graves or wherever their dust was sitting, then from that point somewhere else may be the place where these people will be moved for accounting, for accountability. And this will not be in haphazard, like a crowd that just start walking wherever they want to. Because when people are raised, in many places in the Quran, it's very clear that with each person, there will be at least 2 others with him. And these will be angels. One will be the guide, and one will be the one who will be a witness. Okay? So the person will be made to walk, proceed wherever he or she will be stopped, and his accounting will start. Okay? So that is the meaning of they proceed. They will be moving to the place where their accounting will start on the day of judgment. Okay? So that is sadara. That means to proceed. And also, if we have these three letters, fa, and lam, from the template, the meaning is to do. And if we put a ya in the beginning and make it sound like yaf'alu, this brings the meaning of he and present tense. So the meaning is yaf'alu means he does. Yaf'alu means he does. So if we apply the same rule, except this will be yas, duru, just put a ya in the beginning, except that in this particular case, middle letter will have a dhamma instead of a fatha. So it will be pronounced yas duru. Yas duru means he proceeds or he will proceed, because in Arabic, present tense and future tense grammar is the same. So yasuduru means he will proceed or he will go. Okay. Now after this word in the surah, in the ayah, is the word annas. Annas is the plural of people, mankind. Okay? Nasun means one person. Insun word means one person, and nasun means plural, people. Okay? So then we don't have to translate he, instead of this will be people will proceed. Annas will proceed. Okay? So instead of he, the word is annas. So people will proceed. So all the people who will be raised, they will be proceeding, they will be moving towards some place. Okay? So that is the meaning of yasdurun nasu, people will proceed on that day. Okay? So this will be people will proceed. So this will happen after they are raised. We all are raised from our graves. Then we will start moving to some point on the place of judgment. So that is, people will proceed. Okay. Now the next word starts with these three letters: sheen, ta, and ta. This means to divide. Divide or to separate something. And the word that is created from this is ashtatan, by putting two alifs. That means in groups, divided in groups. So these will be like small groups of people. Some will go in one direction, some will be brought in some other direction, some will be brought somewhere else. So they will be just scattered all over the place in small groups. So the meaning of word ashtatan, which is created from this as a noun, ashtatan, okay, means divided. Divided in groups. Some people may have small, some a bigger group. People who have done the similar crimes, they may be in one group. People who have done the same things, they may be in another group. So these may be scattered all over the place as smaller groups. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that on that day, people will be proceeding in small groups, divided. Okay? So that is ashtatan.
So this is not Fa'ala group, right? This
Which Which one?
Shata.
No, sure, no, it's a fa'ala because it has 3 letters. Okay, but this is a noun, ashtatan. By noun can be made by any rules. This is not a grammar in terms of he did, she did, or he will do, she will do. That's a verbal grammar. Okay, that applied here because we put a ya in the beginning. But nouns are created by different rules. Okay, so for example, abada, ayn, ba, and dal. Okay, abid is a person. Abdun is also a person. So there are 2 different ways a person is made. So making the noun has different rules. But when you make the verbal grammars, that has to follow these rules. And actually the sheet I passed today, if we have time, I'll go over that. Okay? So ashtatan means something which is divided. Okay? So these people will be divided into smaller groups. Okay? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says after that, لِيُرَوْا أَعْمَالَهُمْ. So let's look at those 2 words. First of all, let's look at these 3 root letters, Ra, Hamza, and Ya. Okay. This means to see. Ra, Hamza, and Ya. This means to see something. Okay, and this has 3 letters. So whenever we have 3 letters, they belong to the group of the words we call fa'ala. Okay. Now we are going to make another word by adding 1 more letter, alif in the beginning, and this becomes group we call af'ala. That means we add alif in the beginning, so this becomes alif, ra, hamza, and ya. This is a different word. It has a different meaning. Okay? The meaning for this word is to show. Okay? Now notice that in Arabic, in English, the word see and the word show has no relationship in terms of the spelling or vocabulary or nothing. These are 2 totally different words. Okay? But in Arabic, it's a very systematic. Okay? These 3 letters are to see. When you add 1 alif, the meaning is that someone is making you see. And that's what show is. Showing something is making you see. Okay? And also another person is involved here. Because showing has to be done by 1 person, because 1 person is going to see. So whenever we make bigger words, there is a logical explanation. Explanation is that this is 1 person's act, this is more than 1 person. Because 1 person is seeing, but to show there have to be more than 1 person, there have to be at least 2. The one who is seeing and the one who is making him see. And making see is actually show. Okay? So that's the difference. Now in the Quran, in this surah, both words are used. This one is used and this one is used. Okay, so just keep in mind, in this word here, liyuraw, okay, and we will see that this word is used here to show. But in the next 2 ayahs, this yarahu and yarahu, both of these are coming from this word here. Okay, and so we'll see that. Okay, so let's look at the word here, liyuraw. Okay. Now also, okay, so let's first do this thing. I'm going to write down li separately and yaraw separately like this. Liyuraw. Okay. Now let's notice few things here. This lam has a separate meaning. It's a separate word. It has nothing to do with this word. Okay? So we should keep it separate. Next thing we notice is that this alif, whenever you see within a small circle, and I'll explain that, this alif is not pronounced. It is just written there. Okay? So that's the reason when we are pronouncing, we are not pronouncing the alif, we are just pronouncing liyurau. Okay? So now what is left in the middle is yarau. Okay? So now let's look at one more thing. So we can identify this. If we have these three letters, fa'ala, and if I put one fatha on each of them, this means he did. Three letters, when you put it one fatha, the meaning becomes he and past tense, he did. Now, if I put a waw at the end, and it becomes fa'alu. Okay. So what did this waw do?
They did it.
They did. So they did. So waw brought the plural, right? This has a plural waw in it. Okay. So this word can be broken down. Li has a totally different meaning. We'll look into that. Alif is not recited. Okay. And waw is because the plural is there. In the original letter, waw is not there. In the original three, waw is not there. So waw came later on. And waw, we know that when it comes, it brings it a plural. Also, if you notice one more thing, there is a ya in the beginning. Okay? And we just learned that yaf'alu, okay, ya in the beginning brings he does, right? We just looked at the yasduru and yaf'alu. So if you learn how to break down it this way, it will be very easy to understand. Just by breaking down, because if there is a waw, that means it's a plural. If there is a ya in the beginning, that is a present tense. Okay? Alif is not recited. Lam is a separate. Okay? The meaning of lam with a kasra is so that. The meaning for this word is so that.
That's a huruf jar, right?
No, there are several kinds of lam. When lam comes in a harf jar, then it changes the noun into kasra.
Right.
But there is no noun. There is no noun after that.
Okay.
This is a verb.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So la has many meanings, but here the meaning which is being used is so that. Okay. Now, whenever so that in English comes, it's a kind of a conditional statement. Okay? When I say, I went outside so I can enjoy. So that I can enjoy. So it's a condition, right? So li here brings that condition. Okay? Now here, the word is coming from to show. So the condition will be so that they may see. It's conditional. Whenever you say conditional statement, you bring the may or might be able to do that, or it's a result of an action. A condition is a result of an action. So here the meaning will be so they might be shown. The word conditional statement, we have to bring the may or might, or they may be able to do such a thing. Okay? So the purpose up to this point in the statement, people will proceed in groups so they might be shown. So that they might be shown. Okay? What they might be shown? A'malahum, their deeds. Okay? So that is the purpose of people moving in groups from one place to another place. Yasduru, proceeding So what will happen? At the end of their movement, whenever they are stopped, what will happen? The action of showing their deeds will start. Okay? Like in many other places in the Quran, when it says that they will be shown their books or their records, they will be given to them. They will be open and so they can read those records. So that is the purpose. لِيُرَوْا أَعْمَالَهُمْ, so they may be shown their deeds. Now showing the deeds means showing written somewhere what they did in this worldly life. So everything which we do is recorded, and that record will be presented to us on the day of judgment, so we can ourselves see that thing. Okay? There is no need for someone to come and tell us. The book will be handed to us, so we may be able to see our own deeds. A'malahum. Amal is actually the root letters of Ain, Mim and Lam. Amalun or Amala, it means to do, and Amalun means deed. Okay. One deed. Its plural is Amalun. Amalun means deeds. Plural. A'malun means deeds or actions, and whom means their or them. So when you combine these two, it will be a'maluhum, their deeds, and there is the pupil. Okay. So they could be shown their deeds, their actions, or whatever they did in this worldly life will be shown to us. Okay? So that is the meaning of لِيُرَوْا أَعْمَالَهُمْ, so they may be shown their deeds. Okay? So that
why do you use them maybe? You're not sure?
no, it's a way of saying. It's a condition. Whenever you say condition, you say may, but here there it is definite. Okay? So they will be shown. Yes, you can say they. So they will be shown, or they could be shown. Okay? Or might be shown. But here it is definite. Their deeds. So that is the first thing will happen, that people will be given their record, their book of deeds, so they can see them, their own selves, so they will be shown to them. Then next two ayahs talk about the details of this seeing. Okay, how detailed this will be, that a man will be shown his deeds. So that's the next ayat. And except for one word, the ayat repeats itself. So fa means so, and man means who or whoever. So whoever. Okay. Now we just saw that word is ayn, min, and lam, amala. This means to do. Okay. And if I put a ya in the beginning and keep the three word letters together, ya'malu. Okay. And whenever you put a ya, it brings the third person and present tense. Ya brings it present tense. So word will be ya'malu. Its meaning is he sees, or he does actually. Not sees. He does. Present tense, third person. Ya'malu, he does. Yaf'alu means the same thing, he does. Ya'malu, okay? He does. Okay. Now, there is a characteristic of this word man, that when ya'malu comes after that, or any verb comes after that, it changes this into a sukoon. Okay? Meaning still remains. Man ya'mal, whoever does. Instead of pronouncing man ya'malu, man changes this. It's a conditional statement again. It's a conditional statement. So whenever there is a conditional statement in Arabic, some effect happens on the words. So the effect here, or the only effect that happens, is that last letter changes into sukoon. So meaning is, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ, instead of يَعْمَلُ, يَعْمَلْ. So whoever does. You don't have to translate he, because man is there, whoever is there. So وَمَنْ يَعْمَلُ, so whoever. It's a condition. Okay? Like whoever goes out, he will have good time. Whoever doesn't go, he won't get it. So it's a conditional statement. So here, Allah SWT says that فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ, so whoever does. Okay? In the tajweed, when noon and ya come together, then you pronounce with the gunna, وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ. That's a separate thing. But the meaning is that, so whoever does. فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ, so whoever does. Okay. So what does he do? Whoever, what he does. So let's look at this word. This three letters came last time. Tha, Qaf and Naam. Thaqala. This means to be heavy or to have weight. Something which is heavy has some weight. Okay. Thaqala. Okay. And the word mithqalun is created from that. Mithqalun means weight. Okay. Mithqalun means weight. Something has some weight. Okay. And also, this word dal, ra, ratun, zarratun means atom. Commonly used word zarra is the smallest particle, and in English translated, because as we know, atom is defined as the smallest particle. So zarratun is the word, and it's from the three letters dal, ra, ra. Zarara, which I wrote down here. Okay. The noun is zarratun. Zarratun means atom. Okay. Now, if I combine these two words by putting of, weight of atom. Okay. Weight of atom. So in Arabic, when we combine these two nouns, in English we put an of. In Arabic, the rule is that we remove one dhamma from here and we change these two to two kasras. Okay. So the word is mithqalu zarratin. The meaning of this is weight of an atom. Mithqalu with dhamma here, zarratin. weight of an atom. So whatever that atom is, how much weight it has. Okay? That's the meaning of mithqalu zarratin. Now we also have been coming across this one rule, that when there is a verb and there is a noun after that. In this case the verb is ya'mal, and mithqal, dhamma, is a noun, mithqalu. So mithqalu is coming after this verb. So whenever that happens, this dhamma changes into fatha because of ya'mal. So the word is now mithqala zarratin. Okay, that's the word in the Quran. So whoever does an atom's weight, whoever does any deed in this worldly life, how small it is, as small as its weight is like an atom. So that's what is being said. Mithqala zarratin, an atom's weight, or weight of an atom. So it will be weight of an atom. Whoever does action in this worldly life, whoever does a smallest action, okay, as small as you can imagine, as like a dharra or an atom. Okay, what will happen? Whoever does. Okay, now this mithqal is further defined. What kind of weight? What kind of action? Okay, so the word after that is being used is khairan. Okay, this is from these three letters, kha, ya, and ra. And khairun means good.
So the mithqal turned into the dhamma because of the yamal, right?
Yeah. Because mithqalu is a noun and yamal is a verb. So whenever noun comes after the verb, its dhamma changes into a fatha. So mithqalu became mithqala. Okay. Now the word is khairun. Original word is khairun. Okay, with two dhammas, because all the nouns have two dhammas. Khairun. This is also a noun, and it is also coming after verb. Okay, so this will also change into two fathas. This one. So it will become khairan. Khairan. And whenever we write two fathas, we write an extra alif, which is not recited. That's just writing. So the word is khairan, meaning is still same, good. So whoever does an atom's weight of good deed, whoever
Why
does,
did you change to dhamma to fatha? Khairan?
because it's a noun,
Okay.
it's also
the
coming
same-
after the verb, same rule.
Okay, okay.
Okay? It's related to that. It's in the same sentence.
Okay, okay.
It's connected to the same statement, so it has the same effect. Okay? And alif is written, it is not recited. Okay? So khairan. So what will happen? Yarahu. It's made of two words. Okay? So first of all, it's yara and who. Okay. These are two separate words. Who means it. Okay. And it is pointing to the good deed. Khair. The smallest khair, the smallest good thing that he did, this is pointing to that, it. Yara. Let's look at this word. We saw that these three letters have the meaning of to see. Okay. Now, we also know that if we put a ya in the beginning and pronounce this way, yaf'alu means he does. Yaf'alu means he does. So ya bring the meaning of third person and present tense. Okay. So do the same thing, you put a ya here and ra, hamza and hu. Okay. So this will become yar abu. Okay. Just apply the same rule on, instead of these three letters fa and lam, we put these letters ra, hamza and ya. Okay. So how it is pronounced right now, the meaning will be he will see or he sees. Because yaf'alu means he does. By putting a ya, he sees or he will see. Both meanings are okay. So the first of all, the meaning will be he will see. Yara, yar-awu. If you try to pronounce yar-a-you, okay. Now some changes will take place because ya is a weak letter, and it has a mismatching sound because the sound of the ya is kasra. It has a dhamma. So what happens? It totally goes away. It's not even pronounced. It is not even written. So this goes away. Okay. And now if you notice that you have a yar-a, okay, for the ease of pronunciation, it is the sound of fatha is moved back, so it becomes yara. Yara means he will see. So the only what is left there is yara.
So because of the ya is
Ya is totally, because ya is a complete mismatch. It's gone. It's not written, it's not spoken. So what is left is yara. It's easy to pronounce yara. Instead of pronouncing yara, so we just pronounce it, move the sound of hamza, which is fatha, on ra, yara. Okay, yara. Yara means he will see. Yara, who he will see it. What is it? Khair, good deed. Whoever will do or whoever has done or does a smallest particles good, he will see it. His good action will be shown to him. It doesn't matter how small it is. Okay? So that is yarahu means he will see it. Okay? He will see it. And it, as I said, is pointing to good deed. Okay. Okay. Now the other word is sheen, ra, and ra. Okay. And noun form this is sharrun. It's the opposite of khairun. Sharrun means evil deed or evil. Khairun means good. Sharrun means evil. Okay. It's the opposite of khair. Khair and shar commonly used together also. Good and evil, good and bad. Okay, so except for that one word, Rest of the ayat is exactly same. Okay? Except that here is a fa, so whoever does, here it is a va, and whoever does. And whoever does an evil, smallest weight of evil deed, he will see it. It will be recorded, it will be written for him. That is smallest. Okay. Now, the thing is that all of a sudden the ayat stops, the surah ends. Okay. It is not said here what will happen after that. Okay. Here only statement is made that he will see. Okay. He will see, and that's it. But as you know that Quran is full, what happens after that? Okay. So after seeing his good deeds and bad deeds, the payment of in the day of judgment will start. How that person will be paid for his good deeds and for his evil deeds. So that is the next phase. But the first phase is that he will be shown, and then after that he will not be able to defend himself. It's just like you're making a movie, okay, and you start playing the movie in front of that person, and then he has no defense because everything is recorded there. Okay? So that will be the situation that whatever good and whatever evil is being done in this world is being recorded. Allah knows how it's being recorded, but it is a record that a person will not be able to deny on the day of judgment. Doesn't matter how big or how small it is. Okay? So that is وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ, just write down, and whoever يَعْمَلْ does, same word, weight of an atom, sharran, evil, yarahu, will see it. So with that, this surah ends. So I just want to spend a little time and going over. So this is a very handy sheet of easily understanding the grammar. Very simple format. Okay. So there are in any other language or any other social understanding, there are three different time phases: past tense, present tense, and future tense. In Arabic, two are the main. They combine present and future together in the same. So grammar for present tense and future tense is same. The grammar for past tense is different. In Arabic, the past is called madi or al-madi. Okay? This is past, as we know in English. Okay? This has another name also. The name is perfect. Perfect. Okay? Or perfect tense. Now, why we call this perfect tense is that something that has happened yesterday, no one can deny. Yesterday was Saturday. Can anyone deny that? No. It's a perfect statement. Okay? Will Tuesday come or not? Or Monday come or not? Tomorrow? Nobody knows. That's an imperfect statement. So in Arabic, instead of Madi and tomorrow and present and future, they use the word mostly perfect and imperfect. Whenever they are talking about something that has happened, it's perfect. Whenever they are talking about something which may not happen, is imperfect. Okay? So in the case of the perfect, which is the al-madi, the way it starts that if you have these three letters, fa, an, and lam, they are used as a template for learning the grammar. Okay? So the simplest form is that you put a fataha on each of these. Simplest grammar is take the three letters, put one of them fatah, and sound like fa, a, la. And this brings the meaning of third person he and past tense. He did. Always remember that easiest thing is three letters, put a fatah. There are variations, but that is the simplest starting point. And it is the past tense, madi and third person. Okay. Now if I take the same three letters like that and add a wow on that one like that. Okay. This wow is called wow of plural. Okay, wow of jama, plural. Okay. So you just keep these three letters, fa, a, and originally there was a fatha, right? But when you put a fatha on that, the sound of the wow is dhamma'u. So it is pronounced with a lu. Fa'alu. Okay. They did. So the meaning will be plural. They did. Okay. Now, an alif, extra alif is written here with a little circle here. Okay. This alif is not pronounced. What this alif is, alif with the circle is called alif-e-wiqaya. Alif-e-wiqaya. In English it's called alif of separation. Okay. Alif with a little circle on it, it's called alif of separation. Okay. Alif of separation wants to make sure that you don't combine this with any other word or any other. It means this is one word, if anything coming after that is a separate word. Okay? Separating two words. So it's written to indicate this is a separation. Okay? Fa'alu. Okay? Fa'ala and fa'al. So the wow brings the only in the past tense. In the past tense, wow here brings the meaning of plural. Third person. He did, they did. Okay? Now the third thing is that if you take these three letters again, and this time you add a ta there. Okay? Fa'altu. Okay? So you just keep the same fa'altu. Tu with a dhamma brings the meaning of I. Okay? So it will be I did. Okay? Actually, no, you did.
You
not
did,
I.
yeah, fa'alta.
Yeah, well, that's different. You did. Okay. One person, two.
It
One-
is supposed to be fa'alta, not fa'altu. It's supposed to be fa'alta.
No, so originally I was right here. the word is fa'alta is there.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did. Okay. So fa'alta, you did. Okay. Fa'altu means I did. So fa'alta, whenever you say ta, okay, you are bringing the meaning of one person, you. Fa'alta. Now if I add one more letter there, fa'al tum, instead of ta, you add mim after that to tum. Fa'al tum. So this was a singular, you. This is a plural, you. Did. Okay. So why I'm explaining this? In general, when you want to understand the words of the Quran, the very first thing is that in any word, try to identify the three letters together. Like in this case, fa, and lam. The order of these three will never change. Fa will be always the first one, ain will be the second one, and lam will be the third one. You can create a lot of words, but these three order will always remain. You can see that in this case, here, here, and here, three letters always stay together. Now, something starts adding on the top of those three letters. So as soon as you see a wow after any three letters, you may regard that this is bringing the meaning of past tense and plural. Whenever you saw a ta like that with a fatha on it, okay, then it should bring in the meaning of you, one person. Tum, in Urdu actually tum means you, okay, so all of you, okay, so that brings the meaning of you all, okay. So by looking at these few letters, you can imagine that what grammar is coming there. First of all, it's always past tense. The second thing is that it's giving wow means they, ta means you, tum means you all, okay. So there are two more, fa'altu and fa'alna. So fa'al and tu, this time it says dhamma on ta. Okay. So fa'al tu means I did. Okay. And na means we. Fa'al na means we did. So all you have to memorize actually or pay attention is that these two is a one group. Okay. Third person. This is another group here. And this is a third group. Okay. So whenever you see three fathas, no letter added, it's he, past tense. Add a wow with that, it becomes plural, they. Add a ta at the end, you one person, tum, you all. And tu and na is for me, one person, and na is for us, all of us. Okay? So you have to actually just pay attention on few of these, and you can memorize or you can keep in mind in the Quran, pay attention with that. Now this is the past tense. Present tense is even easier to do. Okay? So let's do the present tense. And the way it is remembered, there is a word in Arabic which is called yatan. if you remember this word, it's easy to do the present tense. Yatan. Okay? So let's look at the first one. You have fa'ala, these three letters. Okay? You will add a ya in the beginning. Okay? Yaf'alu. Meaning is present tense. He does. Okay. Meaning is he does. Okay. This ya is yatan. Ya. This one here.
What is yatan? I don't know.
A word
Oh.
that helps you understand the grammar.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay? So the first letter of this word is ya, right? If you take the first letter and put in the beginning of three letters, it brings the meaning of third person present tense. He does. So for present tense, so this word is only for present tense. For future. Okay?
Present and future.
Present and future.
Yeah.
So yaf'alu has two meanings. He will do. So when will you know which one to use from the context? If something is being talked about the day of judgment, obviously you will translate with this word. Whenever see yaf'alu for the hereafter, that means that you will translate will. And if something is being talked about now, you will translate does, he, present. So that is the first word. First letter of yatan gives the meaning of this. Okay? Also, the word vuna is plural. And we use this all the time. Okay? Muslim, one Muslim. Muslimun, all the Muslims. So woon or woona, Muslimuna, woona means plural. Okay? So yaf'alu, he does. Yaf'aluna, they do. Okay? So ya took care of both, single and plural. Except that woona is the plural that we use all the time for other words. Okay? Mu'minun, mu'minuna, munafiquna, munafiq, munafiqun. So woona is the plural. So one word, one letter only took care of both the present tense, and woona added in there will make it plural. Okay. Then you put a ta in the beginning. Taf'alu. Okay. That is the second letter of tam, yatan. Okay. That's this one. This means you do. You and present tense. Taf'alu. So you here is one person, singular. Just add the woona with that. It will become taf'aluna. You all do. Okay, so they become plural again. So ya and ta created these words. Okay. Now, instead of putting this, just put an alif in the beginning. Af'alu. That is this here, alif. Okay. And think of alif in English, in Arabic like I in English. Okay. So this will be I do. Af'alu, I do. Okay? And just take the last letter here, and that will be naf'al. Naf'al. That means we do. So just remember the rule of yatan. Each letter brings one meaning here. Okay? Here we are separately making the plural. We are not adding guna in this case here. The guna is added only in these two. Yaf'alu, yaf'aluna, taf'alu, taf'aluna, af'alu, I do, naf'alu, we do. Okay. So the entire grammar can be just memorized this way. And notice also that except these four letters, the sound is exactly the same. Yaf'alu, taf'alu, af'alu, naf'alu, the sound of rest of the letters is exactly the same. The harakats are same, except that only these four letters are changing. Okay? So ponder when you see the words in the Quran, try to ponder that way. What is before? Alif is there before, or Noon is there, or Ta is there. Then there are three letters. Then as soon as you see Guna at the end, you know it's a plural. So it will be easy to understand because there is so much repetition in the Quran that will be very easy to understand with the structure, very structured way the language is. Okay? So inshallah we'll stop at this point.
Jazakumullah.